Hey, how's it going everybody? Welcome back to another Gemstone Legends video. And in this video I want to talk about sort of an update on what my favorite heroes are / what I think are the best types of heroes in the game. I've been playing this game for a little over 6 months now, and so I've gotten to know the landscape of it pretty well. I've raided to the #1 spot in the arena before. And so I think I've seen a lot, I've gathered a lot of information, and I have some recommendations for what I think are the best types of heroes and ones that you definitely want to prioritize if you have them. And in conjunction with that, I want to talk about what some of my personal favorite heroes are. So I don't know all of the heroes, and unlike Empires and Puzzles, in this game you can ascend any hero to 6 stars. So that opens up the possibilities by a huge amount. So there are tons of heroes that can be in a competitive space. So I'm going to talk about the skills and things like that, and then it'll be up to you to see which of these heroes you have in your roster and whatnot. I think it's really important to use the lexicon frequently and sort of get to know the different heroes in the different areas, and what kind of gems might be hidden in there. So without further ado, let's jump in. These are in no particular order, but just kind of wrote them down in the order I thought of them in. So we'll go through what some of my favorites are, and then while I'm talking about that, I'll explain how these fit into the greater context of the game and why in particular these are my favorites. So first up, we're going to look at Taunt. So if you haven't tried Gemstone Legends yet, come check it out and play alongside me. It's another really fun and deep strategy RPG like Empires and Puzzles, but with some fun new twists, and a lot of people from Empires and Puzzles have already joined. Not only can you help out the channel by using the download link in the description of this video, but if you enter the code #Spock_2021 in the global chat, you can get a nice starter bonus including gold, gems, gold scrolls, and a free epic hero, Elidor, all valued at about $50. Once you join, you'll also get access to a set of beginner events where you can earn another epic hero, Soliana, a 5-star legendary set of equipment, which is what you use to boost the stats and performance of your heroes, and a platinum scroll for another epic or legendary hero in the game. Those links and codes are in the description down below. Just be sure to enter that code in the global chat after finishing the tutorial within 24 hours of downloading the game, and I look forward to seeing you all there. So in this game, you cannot talk about Taunt without having Martin in the conversation. Taunt is not a skill that is new to you if you've played Empires and Puzzles or potentially even other games. My experience is only with these 2 games. But it's always been a very powerful skill, and it's even better in this game, I think, because in Empires and Puzzles, when you make matches, you can hit other heroes that aren't affected by Taunt. In this game, you cannot do that because you have to choose a target for your gemstone attacks or let the AI choose it for you. But that's pretty powerful because now you cannot damage another hero while Taunt is active, except in one way, and that is with AoE damage. Taunt does not block all AoE damage, so some trade-offs there, but Taunt is a very powerful skill in this game. So with Martin in particular, looking at what he's doing that is so impactful for Taunt, he's gaining Fortify, Taunt, and recovering HP. So Fortify is a resistance to special skills, but okay, what about non-special skills? In his passive ability, defense is increased by 45% when HP is above 35%, and he's immune to poison. So it's not too hard to keep his HP above 35% for a lot of the battle, so you're getting Fortify and increased defense, and this guy is an absolute tank for taking damage. So I've fully awakened him, which gives an additional 900 to his defense, which is pretty awesome, and another 3,000 to HP. So he's pretty solid. His speed could definitely be improved if we're aiming for one of the best in the game, but 340 speed basically is pretty darn good, and defense over 4,000 with HP close to 40,000 is pretty incredible. and resistance is not that bad either. So really important to have a taunt hero in the game. I recommend Martin. Another couple options you have are Najar, who was another epic event hero, and then Alexander. There's some others floating around in the epic and rare categories. Both are purple, so I'll let you find those two. I recommend having one of these. Understand what their passive does, what their active skill does, and make sure you are taking the steps to maximize that, because taunt is a super powerful skill, a super valuable skill to have in this game, and one you definitely want to make sure you have. Okay, next on the list is mana boost. So there's a few ways to accomplish that. One is with the positive status Soul Replenish. There's also Board King, and then there's just a regular boost to mana from the likes of Sigil, or I don't know how to pronounce it, Bruxa. She is in the same family as Ursula. She's a 3-star yellow hero who boosts one ally's mana by 70%, I think, when she's fully skilled. So mana is a really important part of the game, and having more of it is always going to be a better thing. So you have heroes like Strybog, who are giving a boost to mana throughout the turns. So if we look at his skill, which is max now, get increased speed, and then you get soul replenished to all allies for 2 turns 4 times. Each of those gives 5 mana, so that's 20 mana per turn for 2 turns, 40 mana total. So a really great passive mana gain in a great hero. And this, I find that it's really hard to not keep him on your team, because he's always just topping off your heroes that might be only 12 away from being maxed, or 4 away, or whatever. He keeps things rolling without having to make matches, which is really helpful. And he can be fused basically for free in the altar in the fusion category. So make sure you are working on him after you get Guinevere. Guinevere is going to be really important for farming the rifts. Videos about all this stuff in the description, but mana boost is huge, and there are various heroes that offer this skill, so just keep in mind Soul Replenish. And we'll look at one more of these heroes real quick. So another legendary hero that I happen to have who's really good in this category is Sigil. And what she's doing is removing, when she's fully skilled, which she is, removes 3 negative statuses from all allies, restores 20 mana. So kind of like 1 turn of what Strybog is doing. She's just giving you mana and removing statuses. Her other benefit is her special ability is used twice if below 40% HP. So you have the potential to gain 40 mana in 1 turn when the battle is at a very dire place and her HP is low. So this can be a really good thing on defense and offense to have her going off twice and gaining 40 mana. And if you're also using her with Strybog, then you are gaining a ton of mana, and that can be a really helpful thing. So heroes that boost mana are really valuable. As always, you have to see which of these heroes you have in your roster to know who you're going to have access to, who you're going to be able to use, and then understand how their skills and their active and passive skills work, so that you can maximize these things. Because if you're using a different hero than I'm using, you might have to use a different team synergy than I would use. But that's kind of the fun part, is trying to figure these things out, experimenting. But so far, Taunt and Mana Boost are 2 of the most valuable skills in the game, in my opinion. And we're going to look at one more category here with a couple honorable mentions. Okay, last up is AoE damage, area of effect. As we mentioned in the Taunt section, Taunt does not block AoE damage, and Taunt defenses are the meta right now, most of them having Martin. So with a hero like Finbor, who's doing damage to all, 259 attack to all enemies and removing a positive status, Taunt cannot block that. The Taunt hero will take reduced damage in the case of Martin because of how his skills work, but all the other heroes are going to get hit. And Finbor is really good in the current meta with all the Strybog positive status teams, because he's dealing 6% more damage for each positive status if they have a full 10, 60% more damage pretty big, and he's also dealing 35% more damage to enemies above 50%. So quite a good hero. And I want to look at a couple other heroes that I think are standout, excellent heroes in the AoE category. The other two are going to be legendaries. There are plenty of good heroes in the rare category and epic category that are worth ascending. You can use Finbor as sort of a barometer. He has pretty high attack for the damage to all enemies. So that 259 is really good, especially with the damage being able to be boosted. So just keep that number roughly in mind. Try to find heroes that have something close to that, because that is very solid damage. And bonus points if they have extra bonus damage based on some other factors that you can exploit. So we're going to jump into the lexicon and look at two other heroes in this Dark Followers category who I do not have that I think are really, really good AoE heroes. So the first one is Raphael. I think Raphael is probably the best AoE hero in the entire game. So when fully skilled, 234% attack to all enemies, ignoring 20% defense. So that's going to be even stronger than Finbor's damage. And this guy is super dangerous against purples. And then additionally, recovers HP equal to 30% of damage dealt. Attack is increased by 60% if HP is at 100%, or by 25% if HP is above 50. Immune to heal block, and you can boost his mana gain a little bit. And with some caster gear, you can get him up to 20 mana gain, and he's charging in 5 tiles on his turn. So this guy is super good. And again, Taunt cannot block this, cannot block the team from getting hit. So if you have this guy, don't sleep on him, because I truly think that AoE damage is much stronger than sniper damage. In the arena in particular, in PvP situations, we're going to have guild wars soon, so that will be true for that as well. Snipers are better for raid bosses because you're only aiming at one target. But yeah, AoE is super good, and I have, I'll show you here my Arthur. So I have a really good Arthur. He's got the crit rate over 115%, meaning he'll crit on any color, crit damage over 220, and attack just about at 5,000. I still prefer my Finbor to this Arthur in most PvP raids when they have taunt, because he's only hitting one target, and even though he's hitting them really hard, the rest of the team is untouched. And that's the truth for any sniper against a taunt hero. So being able to use AoE and being able to touch the rest of the team, regardless of taunt being active or not, is incredibly valuable. And so let's look at the last AoE hero that I wanted to mention, and that is Cassia. She's a hero that a lot of people didn't really think much of until the whole Strybog meta started. And if we read this, deals damage to all enemies 205%, so a decent amount less than Finbor and Raphael. However, 100% chance to inflict vulnerability on all enemies for one turn. So that means they are more damaged by special skills. And then as always, the real kicker is in the passive. 30% chance to use her special ability twice. It's a killer when that happens. 100% chance to use her special ability twice if she's affected by at least 5 statuses, positive or negative. So if you can stack up Aurora and Strybog or Gaffadeth or any of these heroes that give a number of positive statuses, once you get over 5, she's hitting twice. So that's 2 hits at 200% attack. Not the same as 400% attack to all based on how damage is calculated, as far as I know. But that's like, yeah, she's going off twice. So it can be huge. And there's a lot of meta defense teams in the arena now using her because they're gaining a lot of positive statuses. A lot of people are using blue on attack, and she is strong to blue, and she's running right through them. So accuracy is also increased by 25% for every status affecting her. So if she has 5, that's 125% boost, meaning that vulnerability is pretty much guaranteed to land unless you're running very high res, which is unlikely for most heroes. So it's really alluring to go for those big damage snipers, but I think AoE is where it's at right now. There's only one weakness to AoE, and that's Reflect. since they're hitting everyone, a good amount of that damage can come back. And that's one of the benefits of the other taunt hero, Najjar, is that he is reflecting. So he can be a good answer to Cassia because he's taunting the rest of the team and he's reflecting damage back, and his defense is boosted if he's affected by reflect, based on my memory. So yeah, those are the main things I wanted to share. As always, heroes that boost attack and lower the defense of your enemies are always good skills. So don't overlook those, because those can make heroes like Cassia, Raphael, those really powerful heroes even better. If you can put attack up on your team and defense down on everyone, and then fire these really powerful AoE heroes, you're going to do some serious damage to the other team. So yeah, those are a few of my favorite heroes, even the fact that I don't have all the ones that I mentioned. Hopefully that changes in the future. And also a greater idea of the context of this game. From my understanding, I've put a lot of thought into the time that I've played this game so far, and wanted to share these insights to hopefully help you develop your roster in a way that will make it the most competitive that it can be. So really focus on those strong AoE heroes that you have. Attack up, defense down. Taunt is a necessity for performing well at the higher levels of the arena. And getting some mana boosting heroes on your team can really keep those special skills rolling, which can speed up the match in your favor. So hopefully that was helpful. Leave a like on this video if you want to see more stuff like this, or you appreciated the information in the video. It really helps out the channel, and I appreciate the support. Subscribe as well. If you've watched this far, you like the channel, so you might as well subscribe. And it's another free way for you to help support the channel. And if you want to check out Gemstone Legends, there is some information in the description of this video on how to get started with that, as I mentioned earlier in the video. And share your thoughts in the comment section as well. Let me know which heroes you've found good success with. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I feel very strongly about my recommendations, but I'm always open to hearing other people's perspectives. So hopefully this information was helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.